Welcome to Native Yoga Podcast. I'm absolutely thrilled to bring to you this week's guest is Francisco Morales. Francisco, you can find him on his website, synergy.yoga. And you can also, all the links for this are in the description. And he's got multiple handles on IG. The two I'm going to share right now is at synergy.yoga. And also another one that I find really fascinating that he has going is called Synergy Rising NGO, which is a nonprofit that his group it has put together to help people in Peru work with him and alongside his work that he does with hosting retreats at Machu Picchu, retreats in Kenya, Africa with his friend Salim. And wow, there's just so much information that Francisco shares here. He has a really diverse background, ranging from a wide-angled experience with martial arts and capoeira, yoga practice with Dharma Mitra in New York, Thai massage study in Canada with Kam Tai Chao, being with the founder of Acroyoga, Jason Meemer, and and Jenny Sauer Klein back in the day when that began in San Francisco. He's been all over the world learning, studying, and practicing. I think you're going to be fascinated and enamored with what Francisco is up to. So definitely give him a follow and send us a message if you enjoy this episode. His nonprofit sounds really beneficial and helpful for the local people of Peru. So if you feel inclined to share and help and maybe even go visit one day, let us know. All right, let's get started. I'm so happy I have a chance to meet and speak with Francisco Morales. Francisco, thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome to the show. Can you tell me where you are joining me from?
Thank you, first of all, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here and get to know a little bit more about what you're doing as well. I'm in Urubamba, the Sacred Valley of Peru in the Andes, and yeah, it's a beautiful place up here. Largest variety of microclimates in the world, so we get a lot of weather patterns.
Amazing. Are you originally from Peru?
Yeah, I was born in Peru, and I grew up in the coast of Peru, and I immigrated to Washington, D.C. when I was 8.
Nice, nice. And now do you balance life between US and Peru primarily? Do you have another living location or do you stay full time
No,
in Peru or do you mostly reside in US? How do you split your time?
no, I'm mostly in Peru and in the high Andes. I just bought some land, building a house and a dojo martial arts center for the youth of the area in Urubamba. And but I go to this. I have a lot of friends in the States, and I go there quite often to teach and also to visit friends and family.
Cool, Francisco. I mean, I really enjoyed studying up and learning about some of the influences that you've had throughout your life between martial arts, yoga, Thai massage, acro yoga. I even heard before we started, you mentioned capoeira, which obviously falls in the martial arts world, but we can see how all these different arts blend together. How has growing up in Peru influenced you in your healing arts or as a healing artist?
Yeah, I mean, I think how has it influenced? I think being in the coast, especially being a kid in the coast of Peru, um, you know, I was living in Washington, D.C., but I was the kind of fundamental years of my upbringing from 1 to 8 were in Peru, and it's a ocean city. A lot of people like when it's summertime and beach time, the city is empty, and it's a huge city. Especially back then, the rhythm was a lot slower. But just observing the sea, growing up fishing, surfing, always gives you some perspective and helps slow things down. So I think it really kind of gave me that influence of water in my life and the ocean and like a massive body of ocean.
Amazing. I'm guessing you've surfed at Chicamas?
Chicama, yeah, the longest left in
Yeah.
the world. Yeah, I have gone there once, and it's quite enduring because it's a lot of paddling. You know,
Yeah, yeah, the longest left means the longest paddle ever too.
it's
Yeah,
yeah, but it's really beautiful, especially the northern coast of Peru. The ocean has a lot of life, you know, as you get closer to the Galapagos.
amazing. Can you tell me a little bit about your background in martial arts and what modalities you've studied and what role your experience with martial arts has played in your journey in life?
Yeah, I think so I studied capoeira Angola. I think yoga is a martial art as well. It's just a martial art that's in a way kind of like a with yourself. And Thai massages as well, it's a martial art that removes pain from the body. I also studied jiu-jitsu with some friends as well at a buddy of mine's school. But to me it's given me discipline, gives you knowledge of self and to take care of your temple. I think a lot of these martial arts emphasize circular movement and moving with the best intention for yourself and those around you, and being mindful, right? Um, yeah.
That's cool, man. Well, I mean, I saw that you've studied in like multiple countries around the world. When did your travel lust start to develop? I can imagine having the influence of growing up in Peru and then moving to States. And then, where was your first like big travel by yourself where you went off on your own and started to explore?
Uh, I think that so yeah, I was consistently going back and forth between Washington D.C. area and Peru. And I think after university or middle of university, I think it was a sophomore year summer, um, I wanted to see the United States and also make money to pay for school. So I drove from Miami. I went to university in Miami. I drove from Miami to Seattle and just got different jobs along the way. And then I got a one-way flight to Anchorage and worked with the salmon industry for a couple of months. So that was my first kind of sojourn, you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Well, what was it like working in the salmon industry in Alaska? I mean, you watch these shows on TV with these guys out on
Yeah.
boats, like in freezing cold. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's a rugged job. Was it?
Yes.
Like, you're like, that's not a hard question to answer. Yeah.
100%. I was a kid who didn't have any cash. I wanted to make some money, and it seemed like a good way to make money and get to know a place that I had always wanted to see because it's so contrasting from Peru and DC, Alaska.
Yeah.
Uh, it's wild. And, you picture snow and all these things, obviously not in the summer, but yeah.
That's cool, man. Well, what are some of the universal threads that you found in the healing practices across these different cultures that you've studied within?
Um, as far as like universal threads, like that's actually a really good question. Something that's unique that both like my capoeira master and my Thai massage teacher communicated were to find your own way within the martial art. Um, and like I said, I consider Thai massage and a martial art just like capoeira and jiu-jitsu and other martial arts. Um, and circular movement. Like even like in Thai massage, we do whirlpools even when you're massaging the jaw, you're moving the hips to open up the connection of the femur and the hip joint. As well in capoeira, like the kicks create more velocity, you could say, with a roundabout. Um, and I believe that, it's like communally, a lot of things like the circle is a consistent emphasis, right? So it helped me to see the circle of community. It kind of, I think capoeira and the martial arts have influenced our business, Synergy Yoga. Myself and my colleague and my dear friend Salim Rollins, who I met through Capoeira, we were both deeply influenced by Capoeira, or are deeply influenced by Capoeira. So I think if you're a student of martial arts, it's inevitably going to influence how you carry out your life and the things you love and your family and your work.
Yeah, good answer. I noticed as well that you had an opportunity to practice with Dharma Mitra. Did you live in New York City to have that opportunity, or was it when he was visiting and teaching elsewhere?
No, I lived with him. I literally lived in his yoga studio. Um,
Did you really?
yeah,
Like,
I did.
he let you camp out there?
Yeah, he let me sleep in and he had this like really thick, like kind of peach carpet, that's what we used to practice.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, he sometimes he'd crash with us on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Well, how many
proud.
years ago is this? How many years ago is this, Francisco? What
I
time period?
studied with him. Um I studied with him in 2005. I did his like teacher training. I don't know what he called it. I think now it's called Life of a Yogi. Um, but I don't know what he called it back then. I forgot. But I lived in New York for a while, and I got a job making food and working at the farmers market out there while I was just to be able to study with him and stay. I didn't want to go back and forth.
Amazing. So how did that evolve? Did you say, Dharma, look, I don't want to waste a lot of time traveling around and I'm committed and focused. And would it be okay if I stay here? And he just said, of course.
Yeah, he said stay until you find your own spot. And he didn't give me like a time, so I just stayed in the studio for 2 weeks.
Nice.
Um, and then I found a place and a job. So
That's
in
cool.
in Union Square. So his studio was on, I think it was 73rd and 3rd Avenue. Um, so it was like an easy little like skateboard ride away. It was short from where I was in Union Square.
That's
Um,
cool.
and I was able to take his class daily, you know.
What type of lessons do you feel like you learned when practicing with him?
Um, yeah, I think the thing that most resonates with me about what Dharma t or that's kind of consistent for me is to make your asana, like he would always say make your asana as an offering, right? Um and I think that helps you to be more mindful and not hyper focused on the outcome of the practice, but more mindful of the breath, which I think is essential for like humility, and then that kind of carries out into your life, right? Like make the things you do an offering, like don't be attached to the outcome. Just do it for the sake of goodness, for goodness sake.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Very
Yeah,
cool. Amazing, man. Well, can you give me a little bit of the background on your history with studying Thai massage? I saw that you studied with Kam Tai Chow. I believe wasn't he teaching out of Canada? Wasn't that where
yeah,
he really settled and made his kind of spent his time teaching? How did you meet him? And can you tell me a little bit about what you learned practicing with him?
sure, no problem. Yeah, Cam Tai is my teacher. He's no longer physically with us. He is from Malaysia originally, and he's a Tai Chi master. Tai Chi was something he studied before he started to study Thai massage. And then he moved to Thailand at a very young age, and he studied Thai massage there, and that's where he really became a master of Thai massage in Thailand. And he fell in love with an emergency room doctor from Montreal at some like silent meditation retreat, like Vipassana. I don't know how that happened because I think they just made eye contact and you
A
couldn't
good
stop
point. You're
thinking
not
about
you're not supposed to do
it. You're
that
not
at the
supposed to
Pasha.
talk. And he couldn't get this woman out of his mind. Um, and this is his story, okay?
Yeah.
And then he followed her. He went to Montreal and and he eventually like, they fell in love, they got married.
Wow.
Um, and I wanted to study massage. I wanted to use my hands, to like I to learn. I always loved it. I was actually a lobbyist in Washington D.C. at the time.
Wow.
You know, I was like 23, 24. Um and uh and I went, I took a bus or the train, I guess, from DC to Montreal, and I went to study with him at the Lotus Palm Center, which is where the a center that he founded there. And
Amazing.
yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And so you started learning Thai massage, and this is a what time period are we thinking? Are we talking about? You mentioned
I actually started studying Thai massage with him in 99.
so before going to New York and studying yoga with Dharma, you had kind of embarked on your Thai massage practice.
Yes.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Amazing. And have you been practicing Thai massage fairly consistently? If that was 99, and so that's 26 years ago.
Yeah, I have. I give certifications in Thai massage now. And I started, yeah, pretty consistent. I mean, really consistent
Yeah.
since 99. There
Gotcha.
was like a little gap that I wasn't like couple of years, that I stopped because mostly because I was studying something else,
Yeah.
or teaching more yoga, I think. Um, but yeah, I've been pretty consistent with that and with Capoeira since 99.
Wow. And I also saw or see that you had a chance to be in the forefront of the development of Acroyoga, which is, I don't want to assume everybody listening knows what that is, but the blend of acrobatics and yoga and or a real close connection with Thai massage in relation to partner work, but a little more acrobatic, I guess we could say. Can you talk a little bit about Acroyoga and what your relationship is or was to Jason Niemer and Jenny Sauer Klein in the formation of Acroyoga.
Yeah, I met Jason at a yoga teacher training in 2003. When we met, like we got along, we had a mutual respect. And was living in DC at the time, but I wanted to move to San Francisco because there was a lot more yoga there and I wanted to learn more. So I moved out there and we got a place together and we were roommates during the formation of the acro yoga practice.
Wow.
And so we'd always have people at our apartment and fly them and, stuff like that. And myself and my buddy, my friend Carolyn, we were Thai massage therapists, and people would always be hurting after the acro yoga flying sessions. So we would do Thai massage as part of it. And I think it froze.
Oh, did it?
Can you hear
Can
me?
you see me? I can hear you. Yeah. I see that you on the video, I can still hear you, but the video we have a freeze frame. But don't worry, I think keep talking and it'll unfreeze on the video. I can still hear you. Or maybe I can't hear you and I can hear my own voice getting glitchy. We can just hang out for a moment. I have a feeling it's gonna kick back in here any moment. And I noticed that he just logged off, so he's gonna log back on, and there we are. Yeah, cool, man.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. That's how we have to go with it when we have the internet. I mean, but good job being quick with the turn off
yeah,
scenario.
yeah, no worries. I mean, I'll just keep flowing where we stopped. Is that
Yeah,
cool?
please. Perfect. I didn't
Yeah.
say much more after you were going. Yeah.
So, so yeah, it was after we would do an acro yoga jam, or workshop, because also we were teaching in San Francisco, and that was the where the Yoga Journal magazine was, which was like a big yoga periodical at the time. And because we were there, I think it really helped to take off, because the yoga magazine started to put little like acro yoga stuff in their magazine. So it helped it take off.
That makes
But
sense.
a lot of people would be hurting after the workshops, so we would do Thai massage to help alleviate, because we were all yoga teachers. That's one thing that all of us had in common, Carolyn, Jenny, Jason, and myself. and we all had different backgrounds. Like Jason was an acrobatic person, Jenny did like circus arts, and Carolyn was also a Thai massage therapist. So we had different commonalities, but also taught yoga. And we noticed people were really hurting after the workshops, so we added the element of Thai massage, um, because also like the flying can be really therapeutic, but the base takes a lot of pain on their lower back and hips, you know, especially if you're flying massive people. Yeah.
That's interesting because I took a acro yoga workshop with Jason in Miami in probably like 2007 or so. And I remember getting really creative luckily the group of people that were there were all fairly yoga orientated, so it seemed pretty safe and sound. And then I remember going to another event where the person wasn't as adept as Jason was at leading an acro yoga experience, and the people that showed up didn't seem as adept in their yoga skill, and it almost felt a little train wreckish. And so I'm
Yeah.
curious. I'm curious if you can talk a little bit about, since you've had so many years now to let it digest and practice, what are some of the key fundamentals that you attempt to uh, teach when you lead an acro yoga session?
Um, well, when we formed the practice of acro yoga, so we started the four of us, and then eventually I started Synergy Partner Yoga, which is, it's kind of acro yoga, but less, I would say like less emphasis on the very acrobatic, because I like to use the partner yoga and the Thai massage to be able to liberate the body from pain and give you more kind of connection with yourself to be able to engage in your martial arts or in your day-to-day activity without pain, right? And with more freedom of movement. Um, but initially when we first formed Acroyoga as a collective, the foundation was playfulness, connection. There's like certain like themes, right? These were like the kind of fundamental themes of the practice was playfulness and connection and community, right? Because it's done in a group. There's a lot of like massive group exercises in acro yoga, and then there's also two-on-two kind of Thai massage or flying things, and but I was never really enchanted by like doing like we all have different goals, right? And for me it was like to learn more about therapeutic flying and partner yoga more than to do really wonderful and really cool elaborate acrobatics, right?
Yeah, makes sense. Very cool. I hear you, man. Well, I am curious then, when did you create so your website is synergy.yoga. I have the
Uh-huh.
links in the description so people will very easily be able to find you. What was the impetus for the formation of synergy.yoga? And you mentioned that your friend Salim is who you guys are working together. Can you talk a little bit about how that partnership formed?
It formed at a really, really kind of like it formed around the pandemic. Like we've always kind of been kind of keeping up. We met years back. He was studying capoeira with Mestre Joe Grande, who's like a grandmaster of capoeira, and my master Cobra Mansa. We're in DC. He was in New York, so I would always go up there to train, and he'd come down, and his home was like the host home for people that wanted to come study with Mr. Joe Grande, who's I got in my opinion, and I think in a lot of people's opinion, like the most influential capoeira figure alive today. Um, and when we came together, we have this foundation of capoeira as that brought us together, right? Which is the form of the circle, like the circular movements, the certain principles of the martial art. So when we Synergy Yoga was formed years back. Like after I kind of like moved away from acro yoga, I formed Synergy with the idea I wanted it to be more of a circle. And the idea that you're never alone, which is something that's I think really important nowadays, is sometimes that a lot of people are talking about depression and things like that. It's really important to emphasize a community and connection. So Synergy Yoga was formed with that principle that together you're greater than one by the self, right? And always kind of keeping that in mind. I didn't want to make Synergy like a kind of like an empirical enterprise. I wanted to make it more of a collaborative movement. So back to your question, how Salim and I came together was around the pandemic, and I feel, like more people, we wanted to move more positivity through the screen because a lot of people were kind of at home and you know they masked up and locked up, and it was I think that's when a lot of our friends are kind of getting bummed. They're losing a lot of their health, so we started to do donation lessons through our Synergy Yoga platform. And we even did an online festival. I did an online Thai massage certification, which is kind of crazy. But it invited people to your house kind of thing. So that's when we really came together and brought and Salim became the co-director of Synergy, and his influence really had a profound impact in Synergy because together we were really able to make Synergy more of a global enterprise.
Amazing. You said he's based in Nairobi, Kenya?
He's in Nairobi, Kenya. He's a capoeira master as well. He teaches in capoeira on a regular basis, on a weekly basis to kids there. He has a nonprofit organization that he directs with another colleague of his, Victor. And, we do retreats out there to Kenya. We're doing 2 retreats in November. Um, so it really influenced our retreat business because we only do retreats in places that we live and know, you know. So we do retreats in Kenya and Peru and sometimes in Mexico. But yeah, he's a dear brother. Like his mom is like a mother to me. So it's like, I gained a colleague and more family.
Nice, man. That's
Yeah.
so cool. Well, I'm curious about your one of your Instagram handles. So anybody that's on Instagram can follow you at synergy.yoga, but another one that you have is Synergy Rising NGO. And so I saw that helping to the youth to, make life choices and work with the youth. Can you tell me a little bit about what your goal is in relation to mentoring the up and coming generation?
Yeah. Um, so my goal, I would say the initial goal is youth empowerment through martial arts. So we teach martial arts as a form of discipline and self-study and self-respect. But the main goal is to also highlight the importance of the arts that are from here and the traditions that are from here, because this is a really amazing place in the world. Like over here, they consider the earth a goddess, and Pachamama is not just like a hippie, flimsy thing. It's like it's a real entity. So the agriculture is done differently. There's a lot of customs and traditions that are beautiful here, like the weaving that's in, and so we really want to maintain these arts with the youth, these weaving arts, ceramic arts, and the language of Quechua, which is being lost as well. So we really want to preserve that. So that's the main goal, and we're right now raising funds to build a dojo and a center for the kids. We're a quarter of the way there to our fundraising, and so pretty excited. Our next fundraising event is actually in Washington, D.C., February 7th at Eaton Hotel out there. So I'll give a shout out to that.
Amazing. So this is Feb coming up in 226, sorry, 2026.
Yeah, February 7th in Washington, D.C.
Whoa, that would be so fun to go to. What can you tell me a little bit about what you have planned at that event, how you want to structure it?
Yeah, it's gonna be, I really want to, a lot of people want to know about what we're doing, so I'll talk a little bit about it. We're gonna have a presentation. The architect, Pasu Seminario, is gonna fly out for it, and we're gonna be able to, show people what we're doing, how we're doing our building, and what the goals of the nonprofit are. So we'll do some fundraising, and then we have some really wonderful musicians who are gonna come and make it a party, and we're gonna dance and have a good time.
Very cool, man.
Yeah.
Amazing. Can one of the things that I was most impressed with in a capoeira class, I had a chance to take only a few, uh, was the fact that the participants in the room are involved in not only learning the capoeira movement, but also playing music that sets the tone and rhythm for the movement. Can you talk a little bit about how the music in capoeira supports the practice and vice versa?
Yeah, so in the capoeira practice, there's one instrument, it's called the berimbau, right? So the berimbau kind of guides um how you kind of move in the practice, in the kind of sparring, you could say. We call it playing, we call it a game, because there's a lot of playfulness to capoeira, and it's kind of maintaining that jovial, kind of tricky vibe. In your practice, it's not very like stern and kind of rigid. It is circular, like we were saying earlier. So the music so there's a lot of layers to the martial art, like you just communicated. Um, and in the music, you're also passing down history, like in the spoken word, you're passing down history. And a lot of these cultures, just like the Quechua culture here, it moves according to the arts, right? The weavings, the music, the spoken word. And that's something that no matter how influential technology becomes, that's something that's kind of like never lost, right? Or we don't want to lose.
Yeah.
So yeah, capoeira has that music influence.
That's cool, man. Have you ever experimented with or tried to blend live music with a yoga practice in a capoeira-like fashion? I know, like, say, if we look at harmonium and kirtan, and typically when kirtan practice happens, call and response. So you get the energy of the whole group going back and forth or all together. And I've always thought, wow, it'd be so interesting to see what kind of collaboration yoga and capoeira could do in terms of like the music part to me was the most fascinating part of the capoeira class. It has such a
Yeah.
cool bow, bow, bow. I like has
Yeah.
a cool sound to it. I'm just curious if you've ever toyed with or played with, because you've learned so many of these different modalities that all are kind of similar, but all stand so uniquely in their own field. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I hadn't you're 100% right on. It's like, in kirtan, you're passing on this spoken word and tradition, right? Um, but you generally don't do kirtan while you practice yoga, you could say,
Mhm.
right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
you're sitting, like, I've gone to some of Krishna Das kirtan, and he's a good friend of Dharma Mitra's as well. So he would come visit Dharma's space sometimes. It's mostly like you sit, and you sing, right?
yeah,
Um, but in capoeira, you sing sometimes, you play an instrument while you sing sometimes, and then sometimes you're practicing, right?
yeah.
Um, yeah,
That's cool. I know I've always just thought, how could we blend those two? But maybe they don't, maybe they don't need to blend. Maybe I just go to capoeira class one day and then take yoga the other and
yeah. I mean, one thing that's important, I think, that yoga teaches you, because it is that martial art with yourself, and it teaches you to maintain serenity and a calm breath, right? Which is something that you want to bring into capoeira. Serenity and a calm breath. Like when someone's trying, it's more difficult. Like when someone's trying to kick you, to be, calm and, but that's the ideal, right?
yeah,
Or when you're in jiu-jitsu and someone's trying to choke you and you're just maintaining your yoga practice, you could say.
yeah,
Um, but I think that's the ultimate goal with a lot of these arts. There's something that they contribute to the other, right?
yeah. Very cool. Francisco, how have you managed your own body sensation? And I'm refraining from saying body pain as as a practitioner of these multiple arts. I mean, one thing I'm noticing as I'm getting older, I'm 51 now. I practice Thai massage every day and teach yoga every day, and I'm managing. I'm noticing that it requires a little more stealth, a little more stealth management to like keep up. And I'm curious, I just as a colleague and from a friend perspective, like how are you doing it? Yeah. Do you have any advice for all of us out here?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's you know, well, first of all, I'm in the high Andes. So right away, pranayama is here. Your lungs are getting challenged on a day just living, you know. Um, which is helpful.
Do you never
'Cause,
really acclimatize? Do you feel like it's an ever-present realization?
I mean, you acclimate for sure, like over time. But for example, I'm about to go up to 17,000 every now and then. I like to go up mountains, and I run. So, even though you acclimate, it's still, 17,000. It's still so that's helpful, because it enhances your oxygen. So breath and circulation are kind of like the essence of health, right? Like just looking at it broadly. Now, I fractured my spine when I was in high school, so I've had a relationship with pain and figuring out how to liberate my body from pain for a while. Like when I was a kid, I installed a pull-up bar just to hang, even to make space in my spine. Um, but I think just being curious, and I think one of the things that martial arts gives you, like I said, it's self-study. It's going to be different for everyone. And that's one of the things that Cam Tai really reinforced, like back to your first question, was like, what do you find similar between these arts and how you learn them, right? I think one of the things that like my capoeira master and my t Thai massage teacher were like, find your way with it, you know? Um, so I have a lot of tools that I used, to stay. I like to jump rope quite a bit. I like to move up mountains. I'll show you here. I have these rings.
Oh, cool, man.
I don't know, you can see them.
Yeah, dude.
So I use some of these tools.
Look how blue
To,
the sky is. Oh my gosh, that looks so nice.
yeah, so I use these tools to help me, right? Like
Yeah,
I think nowadays too, we have more access to information. Um,
that's true.
yeah,
Are you still feeling back pain? Do you still contend with, or let me choose my words more wisely. Are you still managing back
I
pain
think
on a day-to-day basis?
like I won't even like I forget that I fractured my spine,
Okay, cool. Yep.
like
Yeah.
for long periods of time I forget, so I'm not like walking in pain.
Yeah.
Um, but I have a lot of empathy because I've had pain so much that I couldn't, like, I had to crawl in my house, you know what I'm saying? Like I was like in high school, I was sleeping on the floor because the bed was too painful. But I think just having an injury at a young age help, and like a very dramatic injury, you could say, helped me to develop the skills over time to be able to overcome it.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to share that. And I think that's where a lot of like my wanting to teach yoga and massage and other martial arts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Can you tell me a bit more about your NGO and how you, well, actually, let me back up a little bit. Can you talk about the retreat that you're about to host for a friend of yours?
Yeah. So Synergy Yoga, we lead retreats in the Sacred Valley of Peru, and our intention is to teach people and to create the space for them to like learn about the beauty of the Quechua culture and about these and have these beautiful experiences and amazing landscape, in Machu Picchu and Rainbow Mountain and one of the seven wonders of the world. So the collaboration, the essence of our work is collaboration. We collaborate with a lot of different businesses, um, and we this Saturday we welcome a group of 27 yogis from my friend Jackie's studio, who I've known her since 2003. She owns a studio in Sandy, Utah. It's called Mountain Yoga Sandy. Um, so they're about to arrive, and I'm just stoked because a lot of people I end up kind of it's hosting retreats with our old friends. So I get the opportunity to kind of rekindle friendships and hold a retreat with them that their community gets to have a beautiful experience together.
Yes.
Uh, s- yeah, so that's the retreat. I don't know if you have any more questions about that.
Well, I guess prior to us hitting record, you had made mention about a way that you're going to be able to blend in one of the children, or sorry, children, one of the men, 17-year-old, who's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
that you're mentoring.
yeah,
I just kind
yeah.
of wanted to
So
touch upon how you're working with the NGO idea of helping youth in the area, but then bringing the ability for him to see how you're managing a large group on a retreat and what that process entails and or what some of the thinking behind that is.
yeah, thanks for remembering that. So part of the nonprofit organization, right? So synergyrising.org, that's our site. And it's a youth empowerment program. And a lot of our work, like our retreat work, is um, like really, in a way, bringing funds back to the local artisans, who are the essence of the culture here. And through that, we're mentoring youth to become guides, in the Andes. And this is a young man who's really showed a lot of wish to be a guide and to learn more about his culture and not have pride, because pride sometimes like the essence of it, like, but more like have like a groundedness and an appreciation for where you come from is what we're trying to instill in these youth. And this young man, he's 17. He wants to study to be a guide. He's already taking classes at a local school to be a guide, and he's going to be joining us as an intern. And eventually he's going to have income from this. So we want to try to create work for the young people in our nonprofit organization.
Very cool. Amazing. Can you talk a little bit too about how building a martial arts studio will potentially serve as a training ground, but also as a way of interacting with the local community in this way?
So the nonprofit being like a martial arts dojo for the youth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, So yeah, we're also gonna have a library there, by the way. So a lot of these tourists, I'm kind of like trying to weave some of my work. A lot of the yogis that are coming to visit, they're bringing books, because we're teaching the kids English as well. But martial arts, to me, it's had a very impactful, like lessons in my life come through martial arts and from my community of martial artists, you could say. I consider a lot of my friends in the martial arts family. So it's given me family and that moves with a lot of intention and purpose in life. And I think that's what we want to instill in the youth, it's like community and a community that's healthy, and that's kind to one another, but not like a shaky kind of weird, but like with their feet on the ground kind. I don't know if that makes any
It
sense.
does. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh,
And yeah, and then from that we're building up, tour guides and we, creating I have a good friend, Bruce. I call him Bruce Almighty. He's a CFO and he's like, if you want, I can teach the kids how to make spreadsheets. I can't teach
I see.
martial arts, but I was like, actually that'd be great. Let's get some iPads and let's teach them how to make spreadsheets so they can learn how to manage the income of their household. I think that's kind of important.
Great point.
Yeah.
That's cool, Francisco. Amazing. So, I mean, I love the work that you're doing. It's super inspirational. You're taking all the passion, all the love, or all the things that you've been passionate about throughout your life, and you're learning, figuring out ways to share it. What is one of the biggest challenges that you face? what is one of the largest hurdles that you see currently with you? I mean, you are achieving your dream from what I can understand and from what I can pick up. You're putting it together, it's working. What are some of the hurdles that you feel like you're jumping these days?
Um, I mean, I think just like to be realistic and positive is what you want to maintain, right? Um, and to be a dreamer, right? Like that balance of like being a dreamer and being like, realistic with what you got to work with. Um, the biggest challenge is just staying out of like a rut and staying out of negativity. And because sometimes people tell you why, this is going to be difficult, which can help you as well, gives you things to look out for, but you don't want to like linger in that space. So I think the biggest challenge is yourself, you could say.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. And so, any other events and or retreats that you have planned that you could talk about that either myself or someone listening uh,
Yeah.
get excited about?
Yeah, we have oh man, I love like what we got cooking. It's really beautiful. So we have the retreat coming up this Saturday with Mountain Yoga Sandy, and then in November we have two 22-person retreats to Kenya with Next Level Yoga, and and then we do a Thai massage certification in Nairobi. This will be the third Thai massage certification. In October, I'm leading a Thai massage certification in Barranquilla, Colombia. Um, yeah, I mean, I can go through my calendar, you know what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah.
want to take you like through the whole thing, but we have a lot of retreats, time massage certifications coming up. Salim and I wish to do a yoga teacher training, but right now, um, a lot of our friends who own yoga studios are calling us to do these retreats, so we want to keep that going.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for asking, man. Yeah, that's what we got coming up.
That's
Uh,
cool.
yeah.
Awesome. This is primarily the genre, the umbrella that I try to stay within is yoga. I can see how all these different components are all yoga. I like the way that you said you see yoga under the umbrella of martial arts. That's so cool. I mean, why is it not? And so I see that there's these connections. I absolutely love Thai massage. I want to pretend that whoever's listening to us right now doesn't appreciate or know or has never had Thai massage. Can you just talk a little bit about why you would encourage them to find someone in their local area that is a Thai massage therapist
Um,
and try it out?
yeah, I think so. Thai massage is very dynamic and it puts the body, it's kind of like yoga in a way because it puts the body into different angles while you can rest passively in that position and then be needed and kind of liberate the body from pain is the purpose through metta meditation, right? That you sent me on that email, which is the practice of loving kindness. So you're consistently, moving the body in a graceful kind of pattern, or circular pattern, to be able to, and I studied regular massage, which is kind of on a table, and I love it, and then you flip, and then you do the other side, and then you do the other side. Um, and I find that Thai massage is a lot more thorough. And as someone that loves martial arts and is very physically active, I have a lot of value for my body. Um, you know, Thai massage to me is an art that really gets more profoundly into the body to be able to bring back its creative expression and dynamic movement, you could say.
Yeah, good answer. Francisco, thank you so much for taking time and sharing your stories and your life history, life journey with us. I really appreciate it. Is there anything you feel like important to close with that, I really love the fact that you brought up the importance of mental health. I think that is something that everybody, even those of us that go that like sometimes I'll think, oh, I have really good mental health. I'm just doing really great right now and haven't really gone down into a dark hole in a while and I'm feeling pretty good. And so I'm very grateful to be in a place right now where I really feel excited. But then sometimes I can even analyze it a little bit. Maybe that's part of my downfall. And then and then I find like I'll ask myself the question like, am I really am I in good mental health? You know what I mean? Like when if I really dig in and try to investigate and analyze, so I'm glad that you brought that up because I think it's something that a lot of us really are needing to put some time and attention into, or even sometimes we think we're in a really good place and we investigate and then we find, oh my gosh, I actually could improve a little bit. Is there anything in relation to closing that you could share with us that you feel is a technique or a way that you brought up the element of like not falling in a rut and just staying on the positive, the realistic, but also the
Yeah.
positive. Is there any other tidbit of information or ideas that you
Yeah.
could share with me that could leave us on a note of just feeling how important it is to maintain and build positive mental health?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most simple and the most profound is looking to nature. Like if you're near a body of water, get in the ocean. If you're in the mountains, like look to the stars. Like just getting into nature and laughter and friends, like good friends. I think that's really helpful, people that you can and that's what I love about, nowadays is people are seeking a lot of these martial arts and yoga arts, et cetera, for the community aspect of it. And being able to go to a place that they can you know be able to communicate and have friends and go get some food together.
Yeah.
So I think getting in nature to me is the most powerful, the most accessible. It's not expensive, to just if you're near the ocean to get in the water. um I find that to me is like the most awesome kind of tool to get out of a rut,
Yeah.
to
Well said.
observe nature. Yeah.
Great point. Well, man, I'm so excited to check in with you and hear about how this upcoming retreat is going to go. I feel like it sounds so exciting to think of a whole group of 22 people traveling from Utah down to Peru together to get uh,
27.
a full tour of Machu Picchu. I've never been, and everybody who comes back all say, you have to go. Kind of like you have to do it, like make the time in your life, save up for it, and make the trip. It's so worth it. I haven't met anybody that has come back and said otherwise. So I just think, man, I'm so excited for you and for that group. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So I can't wait to hear about it. And I really do appreciate and I love this opportunity to meet and speak with you, Francisco. Thank you. All the work you're doing is feels like you're generating it toward helping and being a part of the solution and not the problem. And that's a really positive thing. So thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure, Todd. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate having this time to chat.
You know it.
All right.
Thank you.